Hola clase, hoy vamos a repasar los adjetivos. We're going to review the use of adjectives today. Remember, first of all, an adjective is a describing word. It's going to describe a person, it's going to describe a place, it's going to describe an item. Colors are an example of adjectives. Height, size are examples of adjectives as well. In Spanish, all adjectives have to agree in number and gender with the noun the adjective is describing, which is something that is different than English. In Spanish, adjectives generally go after the noun they are describing. So if you state your noun first, then you know what form your adjective has to be in. You know what number it is and what gender it is, which is why adjectives generally go after the noun in Spanish. So remember, adjectives have to agree in number and gender, and they go after the noun. Unos ejemplos, some examples. For singular and masculine, mi libro es rojo. My book is red. Okay? Notice that libro ends with an O, so rojo ends with an O. Both are singular and both are masculine. You could also state mi libro rojo, my red book. Once again, adjective comes after your noun, and they both agree. They have the same endings. Mi hermano es alto. My brother is tall. Or mi hermano alto, my tall brother. The plural or the singular and feminine forms, mi pluma es roja. Notice that pluma ends with an A, which makes it feminine. So roja ends with an A, making it feminine. Mi pluma roja, my red pen. Mi hermana es alta, once again, agreeing. Mi hermana alta. So whether you are masculine or feminine, whether your noun is, your adjective has to agree in both gender and number. But what if I have more than one? What if I have multiple red books or multiple tall brothers or sisters or pens? Mis, notice that change to become plural. Mis libros son rojos. Okay? Mis libros rojos. Everything's agreeing. You have S's on everything. And it's ending OS for both your noun and your adjective. Mis hermanos son altos. O mis hermanos altos. Once again, everything is agreeing, plural and masculine form. Plural feminine, mi becomes mis again. Okay. Mis plumas son rojas. My pens are red. O mis plumas rojas, my red pens. Mis hermanas son altas. O mis hermanas altas. Once again, because these are feminine and plural, you have the AS in both the nouns and the adjectives. Do all adjectives in Spanish end with either an O or an A in the singular form? No. A heck of a lot of them do, but not all of them. Some adjectives you will find ending with an E, L, N, or even the letters OR. Okay? If an adjective ends with an L or another consonant, then there is not a feminine form of it, like azul. Mi libro azul, mi pluma azul. To make it plural, if it ends in a consonant, all you have to do is add es. Mis libros azules, mis plumas azules. If an adjective ends with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U are the vowels, then you simply have to add an S to make it plural. Like you saw with rojo becomes rojos, roja becomes rojas. If an adjectives end with or, to make it feminine, you add an A. So ora. To make it feminine plural, you're going to add an AS, oras. And if you just need to make that or masculine plural, ores. You're going to add an ES. So going back to making adjectives plural. If it ends with a vowel, the letters A, E, I, O, U are vowels. You simply have to add the letter S. Remember, if it ends with a consonant, anything except A, E, I, O, or U, you add an ES. So you see some examples. Difícil becomes difíciles. It ended with an L, so we put on an ES. Azul becomes azules, adding the ES. Joven, remember that means young, like juvenile. Can be a connection there. Jóvenes. You'll notice here we did have to add in a written accent mark because we want to keep the stress on joven, on that J-O syllable. And when we add another syllable, that moves the stress, so we have to write it in. Verde becomes verdes. Grande becomes grandes. So these ended with vowels, so we just add an S. Los libros azules, las plumas grandes, las chicas jóvenes. Notice there is not a feminine form of jóvenes because it was not one ending with an O or an A. If an adjectives end with or, you add an A to make it feminine, ora, AS to make it plural feminine, oras, or ES to make it plural masculine, ores. So if we take a look at trabajador, which comes from trabajar, to work, so trabajador is hardworking. To make that plural masculine, trabajadores, we simply added the ES. To make it feminine, trabajadora. To make it plural feminine, trabajadoras. Un ejemplo, la chica trabajadora, los chicos trabajadores. Para practicar, you're going to be able to pause the video here in a moment. And I would encourage you not just to number 1 through 9 and write down the adjective, but I would encourage you to write out the entire sentence. It's good practice getting that written formation down. And you are going to need to change the adjective that has been given to you in the singular masculine form so it agrees with number and gender of the subject, okay, what it is describing. Okay? So take a moment, pause the video, and then come back and double check your answers. Now we're going to check your answers. Mi hermano es simpático. You did not have to change simpático at all. It is in the singular masculine form, and that is what we needed for mi hermano, my brother. La pluma es roja. That one we had to change the O to an A because pluma is feminine singular, and we know that because of the definite article la. Número 3. Las maletas son, so we know this is plural and feminine. Las maletas son grandes. So we didn't have to change grande for gender, but we did have to make it plural. El chico es, well, el tells us that it is singular and masculine, so el chico es guapo. Once again, we did not have to change guapo, good looking, handsome, to agree at all because it was already in the singular masculine form. Mis amigas son. Boy, well, I don't have my el or la or los or las here. I simply have mis. So I know that it's plural. And this is why whenever you learn a noun, you have to make sure that you learn the el, la, los, or las with it. So amigas tells us that it is feminine. And interesante, oh, well, this one doesn't change for gender. So even if I didn't know that amigas was feminine, I could still put in the right form, which is interesantes. Sus padres son, well, once again, I know that it's plural. Padres, are parents or fathers. Either way, it's either a group of guys or a mixed gender group. So we have to go with the plural masculine form. Sus padres son altos. Mis clases son, well, hopefully you learned that clase is la clase. So my classes are fácil, easy. Okay? So I have to make that plural. It ends with an L, so I add the ES, fáciles. And I want to keep my stress on that fa, so I have to keep having my written accent mark there. Los libros son, okay, so I know it's plural and I know it's masculine from the los, so I have to change nuevo to nuevos. Los libros son nuevos. The books are new. Y por fin, mi hermana es, well, hermana, sister, so feminine form, singular. I know that's singular because mi is singular. Hermana doesn't have an S. Es means is, not are. So mi hermana es trabajadora. So I would encourage you to do some more practicing. Make sure that you do always remember that your adjectives have to agree in number and gender with the noun they describe.